FC transfer room, the Carabao Cup finalists, Liverpool Football Club, after a nervy ending. It was last night in the second leg to Fulham. It was seemingly all over at 1-0, but Fulham did get back into the game and nearly took it to extra time and possibly penalties. Has it got to penalties on a League Cup? I'm trying to think now.
No, I think it would have been extra time. No, I think last night he said it's extra time. Last night.
But either way, we're through. Finally against
Who cares?
Chelsea. We haven't seen that for a long time. Finally against Chelsea, the Carabao Cup. But today we are going to be talking about just one transfer news. I think just one bit of transfer news. It's a big transfer news, if I'm honest. The player that I particularly like. An injury update on Dominik Szboszlai and Trent Alexander-Arnold. A little bit on Ramy Abbas Issa, who is Mohamed Salah's agent, and what he has come out and said influencers and their clicks and likes that they are looking for. And a little bit of Salah interest from Saudi, from David Ornstein. Possible interest and possibly that Salah may stay in Europe as well. First of all, boys, how are you both doing on this fine Thursday evening?
All good.
Yeah.
How are you?
Knackered. Absolutely knackered, mate. Absolutely knackered. It was a long one last night with things at home, but with the Liverpool game kept me going most of the night. It gave us the ending that we didn't need to have, I think, last night.
Yes.
The nervy ending that we didn't really need. 1-0 up, you're thinking, cruise control, let's get out of this way, move to Chelsea on Sunday. Chelsea next week, Norwich on Sunday, and move on. But Liverpool don't do it the easy way. We know that. We're Liverpool fans for 30, 40 years. Liverpool never done it for the easy way. And then again, they tested us last night and then our nerves last night. But we're through, and anyway, we go on to tonight's first transfer news, and the only transfer news of today, from what I've seen so far, is Takefusa Kubo for Real Sociedad, a right winger, Japanese right winger. Sparked up a lot of interest, actually, during the summer. People were watching him last year for Sociedad, and he was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Lit up the La Liga last year. A lot of people wanted him. According to Relevo, who are quite a reliable source, Liverpool are one of the clubs that are most interested in the Japanese right winger. Nathan, do we have our Mohamed Salah replacement right there?
I'm not sure. I wouldn't say he's exactly the same as Salah. Obviously, when we replace Salah, I don't think we're going to go and get a like-to-like type player. It's interesting that Kubo's actually been on the scene for a few years now. Like, he's obviously just starting to get like a little bit of more publicity over like the last maybe 12 months or so. But he's actually been on the scene for a couple of years now, and he is a really good player. He's actually done all right this season, especially at the start. He started really well. It's hard for me to like come to any conclusion of who could replace Salah, because every conversation that you have, like, Kubo's a good player, but he's still a player that's like he does kind of fit like the Liverpool model of go and sign someone as they're starting to do a little bit all right and then turn him into a world class player.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like because Salah's done so well and how good he is now, everyone's got this big assumption that like the player that needs to replace him needs to be
just as
like
good.
Mbappe or Vinicius Junior, or I've seen people say Leroy Sané and so people that are already at the top of the game. So he could be. He is a good player. I don't think Salah will leave. We're probably going to touch on that a little bit later, but so I don't think we will go and sign an attacking player anyway. Would he be someone I would like us to bring in? I think so. Yeah, I think he's a good player. I think he would do quite well in our system as well. But I wouldn't say he's a like-for-like replacement of Salah if we were to, move Salah on and have to bring someone in.
Victor Osimhen's a good shout, God please. But again, Victor Osimhen's a striker, so it's maybe the output of goals possibly you're replacing there. But in terms of the right winger position, not really, because we haven't really got anyone that can go out there. You've got Elliott, Szoboszlai, they're not really right wingers as such. Gakpo could possibly play out there, Diaz, but again, you still put him out of position. We need a proper right winger to take over. Alan, at 22 years old, Kubo, is he a decent player to bring in to understudy to Salah and then further then potentially take over him at some point?
To be honest with you, I think it is a wise move to get someone who's, as Nathan said, is up and coming. Who's obviously got you could see his trajectory going upwards, and you kind of want that someone to kind of come in. You do. I think years ago when like Liverpool were obviously at the top, and obviously when things kind of faded in the 90s, we kind of let the players get to the very top. The players at the top kind of get to their level and then start to come down, and then it was a mass replacement, and all of a sudden things didn't work out quite well, and you put yourself as a club under pressure to then try. You got to get it right. Whereas if you go and sign a Kubo, well, I don't know a lot about other than like seeing his stats and the odd little clip here and there, and he does look a good player. But as Nathan said before, you kind of can't go and replace Salah like for like. You go and buy a right winger. How many right wingers do you know in world football scores the goals he does?
There's not. If you think about if we're at wingers and outputs alone, it's merely left wingers. You look at Vinicius, you look at Mbappe, you look at Ketsavelica, left winger, Sane, left winger. There's no right wings out there, so you'd have to get someone like that.
But I think out of those guys you mentioned, then it's only really Mbappe who scored a goal. Salah does. The other guys are all great players and they're world class and they can do certain things, but they don't score the goals Salah does. Now, obviously, we've been relying for a few years now. Obviously, you go back a few seasons, the central striker, when it was Bobby, didn't need to score the goals because either side of him, the goals came. Now, if you look on the left-hand side, the goals aren't the same. And Diaz, a great player as he is, it doesn't score as many goals as Mane. So it has left a bit of pressure on Salah. So I think whenever he does go, whoever comes in to replace him, you're either going to have to try to change the team dynamic, not so much formation, but the dynamic of how we play and where's the goals going to come from, rather than sort of rely on just potentially Salah's, because Salah's pace has gone a little bit. So it's just a pure instinct. The likes of Jota, he scores all, he could be the guy who can score you 20 plus goals if you kept him fit. Because one thing with Salah, he's durable. I know he's injured, so I sound like a hypocrite, don't I? But let's be honest, he's been with us, 5-6 years maybe, potentially. And it's the first time I remember him actually being out injured.
Yeah. He's usually...
It is apart from COVID, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's only... I think he's had... I don't think he's ever missed more than
one
or two games.
It wasn't long either, like a few weeks. That was about it. Kevin James said Sane is a difficult character. Johan Bakayoko's got after Salah. Yeah, Bakayoko's definitely a popular guy in our group chat. Bakayoko, as well as Kubo, definitely decent replacements for Salah in terms of understudies. Then with the age that they are anyway, I think they are decent potential replacements for Mohamed Salah. With Mohamed Salah, if he does leave, so obviously not just talking about this season, but when he does leave at some point, are we looking then to replace his goals on the right wing? Like you said, there's no one's going to score those goals, or do we go get a striker that can score those goals? Nathan?
Do you think, just to slightly change like the question, but do you think the fact that we've brought in so many progressive midfielders this season, and we're seeing Jones as well, compared to what we usually had, because under Klopp, like everyone would assume that, not assume, but it is a fact that we had a lot of players in the midfield that were just high energy, high pressing, workhorses in a sense. You weren't expecting Henderson to get more than 5 goals a season. Yeah, I can't think of any off the top any seasons off the top of me. I don't remember any of
our. Played the ball out of the stadium more times than they scored.
Yeah,
goals,
exactly. So, do you think that we're kind of seeing a transition now? I think Liverpool now, anyway. I agree with Alan. When Firmino was there, Mane was the player on the left that was going to score. He was going to get you 20 or 30 goals as well. Luis Diaz is not going to do that. But what I will say is, I think we're starting to see the midfield starting to get more goals, starting to create more chances, starting to do more with the ball. But I think we're also seeing that we've kind of gone away from the model of having a false 9 and bringing Darwin Núñez in as well. But I also think that Jota also fits the model of the current team. He could have done the same as in previous years of the way Firmino played. But I also think we've never had a player like Jota under the Klopp era. Not like the way he is. To quote Carragher the other day, he basically said, since Robbie Fowler, arguably he's the best finisher that he's seen in a Liverpool shirt. And I kind of think we're already in that process of changing things. Like we've seen it last season, obviously, with the change to the inverted full-back system with Trent pushed into the middle, basically kind of play like a double pivot. So I think it's well underway. I think we're 12 or 18 months, even 2 years underway of what we're transitioning to see. Luis Diaz is a completely different winger than what Mane is. And I also think that it's interesting to see that we're also going out recently and signing a lot of players that can play multiple forward positions, mainly left wing. and down the middle. Whereas, let's go back to say like when we had like Mane, Salah, and Divock Origi and players like that. Origi used to get put out to the left a little bit, but he wasn't great there. He was always better down the middle. Mane was a left winger. I know when we signed him, he was a right winger, but then he was predominantly left wing, where he was, for 90% of his career. With us, say with Salah, predominantly right wing. You'd see him maybe go down the middle, a couple of times a season, but we never really had as many options as what we do now. Is like Darwin Núñez, I think, could do quite well left wing and centre forwards. Gakpo played right wing yesterday. He's been playing centre mid. He's played left wing. He's played centre forwards. And then you've also got Jota, who plays left wing or centre forward as well. And I think Diaz as well could play left wing, and then he's played right wing and done quite well there. So I think the transition of dealing with when Salah leaves, it's already underway. And I think the midfield as well, but like the quality that we've got in midfield now is crazy good. Like, they're still really young. Like, there's been Gravenberch come on to the scene with us when he signed him in, and his first few games, I was like, oh my God, he's amazing, fantastic. And then he's not been as good recently, but he's like 22 or something. He's still a kid.
Yeah.
And he's played probably less than 1,000 minutes or thereabouts, and he's playing in a brand new league. And I thought he was all right last night. And time will be the best thing for these young players coming in. I think people need to be a little bit more realistic and think, we all know how good we are, but last season we were so bad, and we've transitioned to whole midfield. So these new midfielders coming in, Curtis Jones looks like he's adding more goals. I'd like to see more from Harvey Elliott in terms of like getting a few more goals. Gravenberch looks like he can get himself a goal. Szoboszlai, we all know how good he is when he gets the ball within 5 or 10 yards of the edge of the box. So I think we are transitioning from relying on one or two players scoring goals and trying to spread them out a little bit more. Even with the assists as well, I think hasn't Quansah got like 3 assists already or something like that, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, he's probably the 5th choice centre back. So I think we are in a transition of doing that. I hope Salah stays like past this season, but inevitably he's not going to be here forever, is he? He's not going to be playing when he's 40 or 50. So yeah, I'm going to have to come up with something, because the impact that he does have on the right, not just with the goals, but making the spaces and the link-up play that he has with maybe, it's slightly different this season because Trent's not, pushing down on the outside and stuff, but it's going to be interesting to see what we do.
I just to jump in, sorry, if you don't mind, I agree totally. I think the way the team's transition from the team that was going for the quadruple as it was back a couple of seasons ago, and the year we won the league. Back then, it was a midfielder I call like steady eddies who literally just, their job was to press, close down, and they used to run over teams. You couldn't get out, you couldn't breathe. And the creativity came from our 2 fullbacks. I think the season we won the league, I think Trent and Robbo alone got, I think they were high. I think only De Bruyne maybe has got more assists than them, and they're fullbacks. But that's where the creativity came from. But then, as everything, teams will work you out a little bit, things drop off a little bit. So you got to change, otherwise you'll lose out. So the fact that we've now, you see like this season or at the end of last season where Trent's come into the midfield, Robbo's not gone as far, and he's injured, but hasn't gone forward as much because he's been a bit more on the defensive side, because we've now got someone on left wing who's not a man who's just going to run in behind, take it on, goal. You've got someone who's a bit more trickier than Diaz. So everything's kind of changed except one position, but that's really Salah. But even Salah seems to be a little bit more wider than what he was. He used to always be in between the full-back and centre-half. Whereas now he's sometimes a bit more on the wing, and he will drop deep a little bit. And that's then allowing the other creative midfielders now, whereas before they were all just runners. Now they're quite creative. And as Nathan says, we are getting goals from midfield. Elliott scored a couple of seasons. Jones scored a few at the end of last season, a few this season. Szboszlai's got a shot on him, so we can do it. McAllister's got a shot he can score. So Liverpool 2.0, whatever you want to call it, you can see it developing. And what's good for us and scary for the rest, I don't think it's done yet. I think there's more to come. And once these guys get settled and they're youngster, 100%. But think how good we are now compared to what we will be potentially. And a lot of the kids, as Nathan says, they're all young. Well, Kanati's 22, 23 himself. Kwanzaa's about 18, 19. The 2 fullbacks who play, are young. Joe Gomez is still only mid-20s, 27, 28, something like that. So still got a lot of unbelievable times to come. And I think if we just keep this core of players together, they're going to develop into something really special.
I think the core definitely is there, and I think especially the leadership group that we've got as well. I think if Salah does leave, we've still got the 4 or 5 leaders there anyway. So Szoboszlai easily gets into that group, I think, at some point anyway, because he's captain. He tells us that sort of leader play anyway. God please says, I still think we need a goal scorer. It's hard with that because if Núñez starts to play like he can and starts to score like he can, I don't think we do need a Salah goal scorer.
Yeah, well, I think as well, if you go and say, we get a goal scorer, you're thinking potentially of someone who's going to be in the middle up front, like a Haaland type stuff. And Haaland's an unbelievable goal scorer, but I think we would be a lesser team if he played for us. I'm not saying he's not good enough, of course he is, but in the way our team plays, exactly, and he would be reliant on a Trent or someone getting the ball.
It's
where
not
you
that
see
he's not a good player. He's better at doing what he does.
He just scores goals.
Núñez, as everyone calls him, Captain Chaos. Like, it is right. Sometimes it's not, but like with Haaland, City have come to a realization very shortly into his time there that he was not going to play the way Pep plays. They have to give him the ball in the positions that he's going to score goals. You know what I mean? And ultimately, I think last season the quality of teams around them were terrible, but it won them the treble. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't we could sit there and go, well, if we done that, we could do this, we could do that. We're a completely different team. Pep and Klopp play the football that is very, very different. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think we need a goal scorer. I'm absolutely. Do you know what the ironic thing is? I still think we do need players. I don't think we need any forwards. I genuinely don't. Like, could we pull a player up? I think so. Yeah.
I think there's only 2 players in world football that elevates our forward line. That's Vinicius and Mbappe. That's it.
I think Harry Kane could do it. I do think Harry Kane could do it. But he's like 30, 31 now.
Play with the age at that point. I don't think I'd look at that. But if we got Mbappe, that would elevate us to like guaranteed success.
Yeah.
That's how good of a player he is, and we guarantee goals with him and stuff. John Henry, agree with we are going to get better. We will get better, John, if you get your wallet out a little bit. No, please. Haaland only scored 51 goals. Oh well, well, Haaland is a beast.
Haaland's fantastic. No one's denying that. He's arguably the best striker in the world. It's just if you watch the way he plays and the way the City fans have spoke about it, he said they tried to play the Pep way completely and tried to implement him into that system when he first signed, and he's seen it wasn't going as well. So they had to adjust what they were doing, and they basically just take advantage of leaving him and just say, listen, you just stay up there, let De Bruyne and Foden and Grealish and them do all the work.
Yeah.
He probably gets about 10, might not be clear chances, but 10 chances a game. And for someone that has got his level of quality, he'll score goals. We'll create chances. He'd score loads of goals for us. But I genuinely think the way we play, I think we would lose something. The way City play, City
we'd lose energy. I think we'd lose energy because City don't play with energy. They play with patience and just passing around for a long time and breaking down teams to the point where they just give up in the end. I think we've got an exclusive here, boys. An exclusive LSE transfer room exclusive. I don't think Harvey Elliott stays at Liverpool long. Lacks the pace and physicality to press effectively. Does John Henry see some value in Harvey Elliott to pay for the next transfer?
The ironic thing is, if that was actually John W. Henry, he wouldn't be I think Harvey Elliott is good enough to stay.
He sees them as money bags. He'll see them. He'll see money sign all over. When they can't see them.
He's young. I genuinely think a team is offer I reckon you could sell Harvey Elliott for 50, 60 million now.
Easy.
In today's market.
Easy. And John says, yes, we can. Yes, we can. Expect Harvey Elliott to go onto the transfer list in summer. Let's go on to the rest of our team then, boys. Kubo obviously is a decent option to bring in to become a potential Mohamed Salah replacement. Understood it, their replacement is the probably perfect way of bringing him in if we do bring him in. And Bakayoko, possibly the other one that we are looking at the moment. Injury update, boys. Jurgen Klopp did give 2 injury updates today regarding who is returning. We got a little bit of an update on Thiago yesterday. Despite people saying he's going to be back soon, he's going to be in training soon. He will play this season, according to Neil Jones. This season, whether it's going to be on a FIFA game or whether it be on the pitch. We put in the poll last night. What will happen first? Thiago coming back or Gomez scoring a goal? That is certainly the game that is going to be happening in the Liverpool camp, I think. But yeah, Jurgen Klopp told us about Dominik Szboszlai returning to team training tomorrow, it's a huge boost. Absolutely huge boost. He did drop off, however, Alan, towards the end, before he did get injured. He did drop off a little bit.
Yeah.
Could this injury be a blessing in disguise in coming back a bit fresher?
Possibly, I think so. And I think as well, now the way the team are playing, I'm hoping it's a little less pressure on them. I think when he kind of came to the team and he played the first few games really, really well, and obviously they got the old O'Reillys like Gerrard and all that stuff, you do then kind of add that bit of pressure that you'd expect him to go and keep doing it. And because it was a new midfield, all eyes were on him and McAllister, I thought, really. But obviously, because we all knew McAllister, we kind of knew, okay, he's out of position, we know what he can do. We don't know what this lad can do. Now, did when he start off go above his expectation, and therefore we as a fan base think that's what his normal level is. But it's normally not going to be like that. So I don't think he's just dropped off a little bit. Maybe he's the demand of the games. Maybe, obviously, he's not used to playing in intense games. Obviously, he's played in Germany. It's obviously a decent league, but it's not the Premier League. And he's probably got... He still looks very fit, so he's still got the legs to get around, but maybe it's just he's kind of settled into it, and he's now just like finding his feet again a little bit. So maybe this little break might do him good. The fact that the team's now playing well, he comes in under no real pressure, go in, do what you got to do, and we know he's got the quality. You know, he's got a good pass, good tackler, presses really, really well. You know, but there'll be no surprise you see him like, you know, next week against Chelsea. You know, because I think Norwich he might play half an hour or so, maybe to get a few minutes in, but then maybe look to bring him back in for Chelsea in the Arsenal game, maybe away. But, you know, he sticks one in the top corner against Chelsea next week. Everyone's happy, aren't they?
I think the Arsenal game is definitely, if he's available, that's massive. Absolutely massive.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like that's a 6-pointer, I think, against Arsenal. Regarding fan bases, right, and I think fan bases in general, like the Chelsea fan base, that is Arsenal fan base, Man United fan base, Liverpool fan base, there's a lot of fans in the fan base that are very reactionary. And I say reactionary when things go bad. It's like Nunes is absolutely crap. He's missed this, he's missed this. But then it's on the other side as well, where like Endo play a fantastic game. We don't need a 6. He's the best 6 in the world. Why do we need a 6? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like McAllister played absolutely class against Bournemouth on Sunday. That's his first proper class game he's had at 6 this season. I think he's not been up to the level yet. And then all of a sudden it's like, we don't need 6 again. That's it. That's it. McAllister's unbelievable. Whoever doubted this guy, this position, is clearly a 6. Klopp knows best. If Klopp wanted him at 6, he wouldn't have wanted Caicedo. If Klopp wanted him at 6, when Endo came in to play alongside him, he wouldn't have pushed McAllister forward. If that guy is his 6, he doesn't move him for shit. Yeah. He stays there. Whether Endo comes in, whether Szoboszlai comes in, whether someone else comes in, he stays there. If he's that 6, if he's Klopp's 6, he doesn't move. But when Endo came in and played alongside McAllister moved forward. Makes sense a bit. You can't say that is Klopp's 6 and Klopp wants him as a 6, and then when he has the perfect opportunity to put him forward, he puts him forward. It contradicts everything that goes against it. But it's the reactionary for me when Szoboszlai again playing well at the beginning, like compared to Gerrard. You know, he has. I think it's the way he plays. He plays like Gerrard. You know, the power, the stride, but he's not going to reach Gerrard levels. Well, the odds are he's not going to reach Gerrard levels because Gerrard's
not many would.
Top 3, top 5 midfielders ever, best ever. So it's a hard level to hit. But again, when he does play crap, it's not the end of the world. But when he does play great, it's not, you know, that's it, is the best ever. There needs to be, just calm down. Stop putting the pressure on these guys. Stop putting them on pedestals that they're not in. Take a deep breath, sit back and just watch football for football. You know what I'm saying? Stop being reactionary in a bad way and in a too much of a good way. There's toxic negativity, but there's also toxic positivity.
Yeah.
And it ruins players as well. Like, it ruins players. It's like you put them on this pedestal and you expect the drop of it. I spoke to Cecil from AFTV about this, about Arsenal and about Arteta. I said the reason why Arteta gets so much criticism by certain Arsenal fans is because they put him on this pedestal, and when it don't go well, the drop off is massive. But it's not like that. Arteta's done a cracking job at Arsenal and deserves every bit of praise, and he's done not much wrong. He'll get results wrong, but it doesn't mean that he's not good enough for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't put him on this pedestal, and that won't happen. Itakura is our man's job of Dubiedny. It's centre back and 6 cover for Endo. If McAllister is a 6, then my name's Judy. Well, there you go. John Henry himself. Even John Henry himself knows McAllister's not a 6, and he does not know football. So basically, stay off Twitter. I have some fine debates on Twitter. I think the thing is with Twitter, right? People can say what they want, and there's no filter. They don't get done for it. They can be abusive. They can do whatever they want. And what I don't like is narratives, and what I don't like with people on Twitter saying like, "Oh, you're always negative. Oh, this and that," but you're always too positive. But they never look at the other way of it and like saying like it's not all roses at times. It's really not all roses. But that's the life of a football fan. Sometimes it's roses, sometimes it's shit. That's just the way it is. At Liverpool, we've been through some tough times. Like, but it doesn't mean like, for example, FSG. I don't think they're the best owners ever. And people will say the best owners ever, but they'll throw like, oh, we've won everything under them. We've won 7 trophies. The 12 years before FSG, we won 8 trophies. Without Klopp, without Salah, without Alisson, without Van Dijk, we won more trophies. So someone's to blame. So this overreaction here on fan bases is just too much either way, I think. John Henry says it's a bit. Yeah, well, your wife would know that. She gets a lot of abuse on there. And abuse is too far. I don't agree with abuse on either side. It's okay criticising players. It's okay doing this, but abuse, too far. Anyway, Trent also, Alan. Trent was the other injury update, which Klopp saying he's not in team training, but he didn't really say he's in the individual training, but he probably is in the individual training, so he's a step closer. But Conor Bradley's doing a good job, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing a really good job. I've only seen little bits of Conor Bradley when he played under 23s, and obviously he heard good reports when he was on loan at Bolton. But I hadn't really, I didn't know what to expect when I saw him. Again, Trent's a special type player, so you kind of can't come in and replicate what he does. That all said, you see him on the right back, he gets forward, he whips a good ball in. Not like Trent, but he just looks a solid fullback. Again, you could have him. See, he could be the reason Trent goes and plays midfield. As Nathan said before, we're developing a team. Why not to say next season Trent's a midfielder and he's not a fullback, because Conor Bradley is doing a job and he's doing it well enough that we don't need to put Trent out there. Obviously, if Trent's back in individual training, he's not quite in team training, probably rules him out of Norwich at the weekend. It then just falls down when you want him. I wouldn't want to try and risk him because we need him back playing, and I'd love to have him for Arsenal away. Chelsea at home, although it'd be great to have him for that, I would rather not risk him if he's a doubt and keep him for Arsenal. Because Arsenal the one, if we go to Arsenal and win, like we did in the Cup, that's a big statement. Because City are sitting there thinking, we want to draw here, or ideal an Arsenal win, because we can deal with. Because I always think when you play the team, like for example, City, they're not really to worry if Arsenal win, because they can take the 3 points Arsenal take off us when Arsenal go to City. So they've got control of that. As much as I think now, well, okay, I would have liked Newcastle to beat City the other week. Well, we'll play them. We'll take the points off. If we want to win the league and beat City, well, don't rely on Newcastle to do it. Let's do it ourselves. You can't ask anyone else to do the favours for you. So I think we need to obviously have our better players, and Trent's one of them. So hopefully he'll be back very soon. But it's good, positive news that he's nearly here. So hopefully not too long.
Hello, good evening, Fluenza for foreigners. Jay says hello, Judy. I just realised John Henry called himself Judy there. I like how he's put the Jude in there. Nice taking the mic there, John Henry. Nice taking the mic. Yeah, I see your gameplay. I see you what you're doing there. And please make sure if you are new to this stream, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are a few off, I think, at 10,000 subscribers. Hopefully we'll get the 10,000 subscribers before the end of the window. If we miraculously sign someone, then that 10,000 could be tomorrow. We don't know. It's not. I can't see us. Let's get to 10,000 before Thiago comes back. How about that for a challenge? Please make sure you like this video and like every video. Make sure you watch for our podcast, and we are live every single night at 7:30. Myself and probably Nathan on Thursdays every Thursday. Hopefully, Alan joins us on a Thursday again because
I'll try. Yeah.
Thursdays I like my Thursdays, and I hope you guys like your Thursdays as well. Before we get into what Ramy Abbas Issa said, which is Mohamed Salah's agent, there was talks again about Mohamed Salah and Saudi interest. David Ornstein has said that the interest will still probably be there because of how strong it was in the summer, but Salah is hearing that Salah does want to stay in Europe at a higher level. When he says Salah wants to stay in Europe, Nathan, does that mean Liverpool? Or is there a possibility that there's someone else?
I don't know. I always feel like his tweet or however he, speaks to, basically the Liverpool fan base or anyone a fan of Mo Salah, they always seem a little bit cryptic sometimes.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
It's hard to take them for what he's actually writing down.
There's always like a few answers to what he's saying.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, it reminds me a little bit of a Tory. Like he'll he'll answer the question by asking a question, or
he's a politician.
Like, it's just So I don't know. I think personally I think anytime you see Salah speak to like any media work for Liverpool, anything like that, or when he talks about the club or just talks about football in general, he seems like he wants to stay. Where's he going to go? Like, let's say Real Madrid don't look like they're going to be in this position where they're going to want to go and sign someone of his age. Barcelona, potentially, because they're a mess. But why would you want to go there? He knows that he's adored by Liverpool fans. Like, I was looking at a tweet before, Mido was come out and, like, slandered them for something, to do with, like, the injury and stuff like that, and, coming back to Liverpool to get fit. And, like, it's full of comments. Liverpool fans just calling Mido fat and all that, because he's going on about, like, something from a while back at
It's jealousy because Mido was like the greatest Egyptian ever hit.
That's
the
what I mean.
Like,
there's been, like, especially what I can know of anyway, there's no one that's even close to what Salah is in terms of, like, the size and the successfulness of an Egyptian player before, maybe even a Muslim player. It's debatable, do you know what I mean? I think he will stay. I think the club know that, bar this injury, as we said before, he's barely ever got injured. He's so professional. He's the perfect professional. Like, and I think we can understand why do you let certain players go. Sadio Mane had a massive decline before he left. He was nowhere near the player for the 8th. That's why we went and signed Luis Diaz. We probably knew early on that he was already going to leave. He had that little bit of an exception for 2 or 3 months before he left, where he went into the centre forward role, but he played all right. But for like about a year or so, he was struggling to beat his man. Didn't look anywhere near the player. Salah still looks fantastic. Like, already this season, I think he's top for goals and potentially top for assists, joint, both of them in the league. He's just a machine, and you can see by like the way he trains and like it's just ordering around the club. Like, you can tell he loves being there. And I don't think he goes to anyone else in Europe unless it's maybe someone ridiculous like Barcelona. He thinks that he can go and win La Liga, but I just can't see it. I think he will stay.
Barcelona need to change a little bit, don't they? I mean,
their model's not fantastic at the minute. And again, Real Madrid, I just don't think Real Madrid would do something like that now. They've been bringing all the younger players in, haven't they? So can't see them doing that.
Alan, I want to play devil's advocate here. Is the only way of saying bye to Salah with a smile on your face is if this man is coming through the door straight after?
Who's coming in the door? Sorry,
Mbappe. If Salah were to go, but the only way you'd accept it is if Mbappe followed him after into our door.
Oh, wow. I'd want Salah to stay no matter what. I could be a bit funny and say, well, he plays on the other side of the pitch, so he's not replacing him. So I would love them both to be. Imagine that being the strike force. Mbappe left, Salah right. Me in the middle. We score plenty of goals then. Might get your little tap in. But it's one of those ones, if you make it cold and you think purely about the ages, like, because how old is Mbappe? Is he about 26, 27? Something
he's
like
about
that.
Yeah, about Trent's age. He's about 25, 26.
Yeah, younger than that. Yeah.
So, you're thinking, well, as Salah, as good as he is and as professional as he is, and you see the sheer physique on the guy, he looks like a Ronaldo type guy. You reckon he could keep playing another couple of seasons, but at some point he is going to drop off. That just Father Time catch up to everyone. Would I accept Mbappe for Salah? That's tough. I find that hard to answer. I'm going to say, I'll be boring bastard and say no. I'd probably just keep Salah because I love him. So I say no. And I think
I
as well.
agree with you, by the way.
I think also the dynamic of the way the squad is as well, because you'd imagine Salah. You go a couple of seasons ago. I think Nathan mentioned earlier, or you mentioned yourself about like the leadership group. He wasn't quite in it because we had obviously these, and he never seemed to kick up a fuss about it. You go to Mbappe, and he wants to like be present at the club or something. So would he come in and want to expect? I want this seat. I want that seat. Whatever. I don't think Klopp would want that dynamic in his dressing room, no matter how good he is.
Let's say Mbappe comes in with the right attitude. With Salah's attitude, wants to play, wants to win trophies, wants to win everything, wants to be the guy that's going to take us to leagues, takes us to Champions Leagues. Would there be a little bit of a glint in your eyes?
Maybe a little bit.
Goes, like I'd be crying in one eye and smiling in the other.
Yeah, if he went, it would cushion the blow. It's probably the best way to describe it. It'd cushion the blow if he went. But it's one of those ones, you like what you've got. And we know what we get. We know every week, every game with Salah, what you're going to get. Now, obviously, Mbappe's an unbelievable player. World class, no denying it. But again, it's a dynamic within the club. Would someone come in and potentially ruin the way that, because I think the thing about the season, Klopp said early on, didn't he, when we've had those games early in the season, maybe he came back to win like the Newcastle away and sending offs, and he said those type of things build the squad and build the group, and that makes them all quite unite together and they're quite harmonic together. The idea of throwing someone in there who might disrupt that, is that worth having to ruin your entire squad just to replace one quality with another? So I'll stick with Salah. That's just me.
I'd be content with Salah leaving on a free transfer in a couple of years. As much as we all sit there and know that we are a club that will sell stars to buy stars or buy players to return to stars, I think he's that good. And I think, as you mentioned there, the way he trains, and like I think Jurgen commented on it not long ago, a couple of months ago, saying like he's basically got the body of like a 27-year-old, 28-year-old.
He has, yeah.
Like, he's in pristine condition, like, and we're looking at it as like a physical output of looking at him. He looks fantastic, got an 8-pack and all that. But Jurgen's probably talking about it in the science side of it. Like they probably know, like how good his body is and like his metabolic age and stuff like that.
Yeah, but there's all those reports that he's always first there.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He's got this dedication. And he's there before everyone. Yeah. He's done his pre-workout before training.
I just genuinely I'd keep him. Like if he was willing to sign a 3-year contract extension, I'd be happy for him to leave when he's 35 or 36 on his own thing, and just thank you for everything you've done. I'd be all right with it. At the end of the day, I know we complain about buying players and selling players, and we wish the owners to spend more money, but at the end of it, he brings happiness to me, and I like him at the club, and we're not going to see a penny of this 100-200 million that we're going to get.
I think he's a special player that I wouldn't want to sell anyway.
He's arguably Liverpool's greatest player in our lifetime in terms of if you add everything together. Is he the best footballer we've seen?
He's got the best legacy, possibly best legacy in terms of.
But when you add everything with it, the goals, the assists, the trophies, everything he's brought, just the stature of a player he is in terms of world football. Like I said, he's the reason why Saudi want him. He's arguably the biggest, Muslim footballer out there. Do you know what I mean? Like he's got the whole package, and he seems like a nice fella as well. And one thing that I like is, he seems to have adjusted to the way this season really well to his role. As Alan mentioned earlier, he seems to be quite happy to be less involved with the goals and more trying to create things. I think he's created the most big chances in the league this season, something like that. So I think that's. But for what he does, I think he could keep doing it for at least another 3 or 4 years at a high level.
Jog Benitoya says, I say we go for Nkapé or Tobido this January. If John Henry does sign someone this January, I will get John W. Henry on the back of the Liverpool shirt. And that's certain we do not sign anyone. I'm pretty much... I've been consistent with that. I knew we weren't going to sign anyone, and I'm still sticking by that. And he also says, thoughts on Kubo and Kimmich rumours, everyone. We also spoke about Kimmich last Thursday as well, about the Kimmich rumours. They started last week. I I think everyone agreed that he'd be a decent player depending on the price. Again, 20, 30 million, you can't say no to a player like that with so much experience. The Kubo we spoke about at the beginning of the episode, Jogo Benito, and we were happy to see him come in for an understudy possibly for Salah. Again, we've been talking about Salah staying as long as he can. If he can get another 3-4 years out of him, that'd be fantastic. But we still need to look at his replacement, I think, now. Whether we're getting them in now through the door now, but we still need to be looking at least, because we can't even rely. His body could just give up all of a sudden. When you get to that age, your body could just give up all of a sudden. He's keeping himself fit, yeah, but once you lose the yard of pace, it's a tricky way to get it back. You saw it with likes of Henry when he came back to the Premier League. He didn't have the same pace, he didn't have the strength, and not the same player. And that was about. And he wasn't not fit. He just a little drop off in pace, and that's it. Your whole, especially with Taka, your whole career could be over in the Premier League at a club like Liverpool. Going on to Ramy Abbas Issa, Mohamed Salah's agent, is not happy at all with certain influencers that he calls them, and looking for clicks and likes. Their obliteration of Mohamed Salah and the way he's come back to Liverpool because of the injury. I think it's a disgrace how he's been treated by certain people, by certain journalists, by certain fans, and again, influencers, as they like to call themselves. Everyone knows how much Mohamed Salah loves the country. Everyone knows that he would be there no matter what. He is back in Liverpool because this is the best place for him in terms of rehab. Liverpool have the better facilities than what Egypt national team do. They have the best doctors. They have the best physios. They have the best people around to get him rehabilitated as quick as they can. If Egypt want this, if they do make the final, that's a big if. If they do make the final, they want their main man starring in that final. He needs to be back at Liverpool and getting that treatment that he needs. For people to say that he don't care about his country, for people to say that he's putting his club over his country, is an absolute ridiculous statement. And Ramy Abbas Issa has every single right to defend his agent, to defend his client. Every single right. Every single right. He looks after Salah more than most agents I've seen. Most agents look after their players. A lot of them care about money, but this Ramy cares about Mohamed Salah and wants the best for him. And he's, even Jurgen Klopp says, look, he wouldn't be over it if it wasn't best for Egypt. If at the end of the day, Salah has done a lot for Egypt, absolute lot for Egypt. He's got them to the first World Cup. He got them to the finals of the AFCON last time against Senegal, losing out. But again, it's mainly Mohamed Salah doing that, because if you look at the Senegal team compared to the Egypt team, there's a reason why Senegal came out on top. I know it was penalties, but it still came out on top. They've got a way better team overall. So saying a player that doesn't care about his country because he's got injured whilst playing for his country, just to come over to Liverpool to get rehabilitated quickly enough to get possibly for the final for his country, is a ridiculous statement. And I think everyone that says that is, again, like Ramy says, it's either clicks or likes or being a bandwagoner. It's just ridiculous. It's just a way to put a Liverpool player down. It's where there could be even like racist implements into what people do. If Mohamed Salah wasn't Muslim, would he be getting the same treatment that he does in certain journalists with certain press? I don't think he would. When he gets a penalty, is the main one that dives. Harry Kane does the same thing, and it's smart, and it's a smart move. So I call out crap on this channel, and I call out crap whenever I'm on anything. And any sort of dissing Mohamed Salah of not wanting to play for his country is crap. Because he loves Egypt, and he cares about Egypt more than, just as much as Liverpool. More than Liverpool, I'd say. That's his country, that he's proud of being from there, and he gives his all every time he plays for Egypt. He's not coming here to play against Chelsea. He's not coming back to play against Norwich. He's coming back to get fit for Egypt. We know he's missing until possibly half, and we know that. We've accepted that. We've dealt with that. It's up to Egypt now to deal without Mohamed Salah. and try to get to that final and give him that potential return, possibly for the final. As much as I want him back, and being my selfish Liverpool fan way, I would rather Egypt go out early and get him back. But for him personally, I hope Egypt get to the final and he goes on and wins it for them. That's the best way I think I can describe it, because he deserves something for his country. And I think when a player plays for the country, apart from England, I don't think we care as much about our international team as much countries do. But I feel that passion. Just watching other international fans wanting their country to win, I feel that passion. I feel how much it means to them. And Salah, you could tell how much it means to Egypt. Boys, thoughts on the criticism, Alan? First of all,
I think it's kind of ridiculous to question his loyalty to obviously go and play in his country. Now, I come from a country, obviously in England, that I'm not overly fussed about England at all. My club is Liverpool, and Liverpool Reserves, Liverpool Women, all in that order before we get to England. I generally don't care. That said, as you mentioned, loads of players are proud to play for their country, and it's the most important thing to them. So with that, that's the most important thing. Now, it's a bit hypocritical of anyone who's sort of criticising Salah, because if he's told he's out for a couple of weeks, but you've got a chance to either stay at the tournament with the Egyptian squad, and you've got, say, a 50% chance of getting back for a set time, whether it be final, semi-final, whatever, or say a 90 to 100% chance of getting back for the same game if he comes back to Liverpool. Surely you would. Why, as an Egyptian fan potentially, or as someone as an ex-player of Egypt, why would you think, well, what would Salah be doing around the Egypt camp now? Yeah, I don't know, it might be good for morale and all that type of stuff, but what would he actually be contributing? Not a lot. He can't do nothing on the pitch. The way the technology is now, there's no reason why he won't be speaking to all the lads before the next round of games, and being involved on a Zoom like this. Go ahead, boys, you can whatever. Do it for me. I'll be back soon. Because as you said, he's going to get the best treatment in Liverpool. And that means in 3 weeks' time, he's fit enough to play. Well, Egypt guys, you go and do your job. You get to the final. You get to whatever round of the tournament it is. And if he's back, obviously he'll walk. And as Klopp said today in the press conference, the day he's fit, the day he'll fly back over. And if Egypt is still playing, he plays. So I think it's ridiculous that anyone's criticising it. But why they're doing it, whether it's a Liverpool thing or they're just sensationalising it to get a click and, oh, look what so-and-so said, to try and get some sort of following. Get lost as far as I'm concerned. Leave them alone.
Speaking of clicks, boys, please click that like button and click that subscribe button as well if you are new to the channel. It'd be brilliant for our algorithms, and hopefully we want to become one of the best Liverpool channels around for you guys. But it only starts with you guys. We want to do the best for you, and if it just simple click on the like button, a simple subscribe click, and we're on the way to becoming one of the best Liverpool channels around. But that is our goal, and that is our aim. Sweet says, FSG attack visited. John, if you are still in the chat, I would not take that. I would not take that lying down. Boys, I just want to last 10 minutes. I want to go over a bit of last night's game actually, and your thoughts on meeting Chelsea again in the Carabao Cup final. Is it going to be another? Is it going to be another penalty shootout? Is Kelleher going to play again? Is it destined for Kelleher to play again? What if everyone's fit? What team do you go for in the final, Nathan?
I think he'll go for the strongest team possible. I think he will play Kelleher, though. I don't think Alisson will come in. I don't think it's right to bring him in either. I think it is right to give Kelleher the game. It's a good mark to get the team ready for the rest of the season by getting the first trophy impossible. I didn't want to get Chelsea. I'd rather have played Chelsea in the semi-final. I just something about them. I just don't like them. It's not that I don't think we're best at them. I think we are best at them. I just don't like playing against them at all.
Yeah. I mean, when we won the quad run, we were clearly better than them, but we still struggled. We didn't score a goal against them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. I think he'll go for the strongest team, but I think it'll be a bit sly on Kelleher if he's not played in the final, like after he's played all the way up to it. I think Kelleher is good enough to play for Liverpool. We all know Alisson's better, but I think Kelleher is good enough, obviously, isn't he, to play. And let's say it does go to penalties as well. One thing I would say is I think Kelleher might actually be maybe a better penalty shot stopper than what Alisson is. I think that's one of Alisson's points of his game, or maybe the only point of his game where he's not fantastic. I don't think he's a fantastic penalty shot stopper. So who knows? Hopefully it's just a nice, easy, simple game. We go into it and just absolutely batter them. And we're like 2 or 3 up by half time.
Well, that's the hope, isn't it? But again, like you said, we were better than 2 years ago in the quad run and didn't score a goal. But Alan, do you expect? We struggled against Chelsea at the beginning of the season. I know it was the first game of the season, but we still struggled. They dominated the game.
Yeah.
That game, we dominated the first 20 minutes, but after that, it was all Chelsea.
Yeah.
That's one of those teams where we just come up against and think, this is no matter what, it's going to be tough. No matter what team they've got out there.
Yeah, a little bit, because obviously it's a bit of history behind it now since obviously the mid-2000s, where there's like a bit of needle between the clubs, and you kind of just want to beat them. I would have rather had in the semi-finals. I think over 2 legs we would have beat them and knocked them out. Because playing in a final again, it's like, oh God, not these again. But I think obviously the game itself, when we do come to play Chelsea early in the season, obviously it was first game of the season for us. The brand new midfield's first ever real competitive game. As I say, well, if we played it now, I think we beat them. They'll be played next week, so we'll find out. I think they do look a little better in the last couple of weeks compared to what they have been earlier in the season. Bit inconsistent then. But I do think we're a better team than them. And I think over the big Wembley pitch, I like to think this season we've got legs again. I think we can, really press them in. And I think they haven't got a lot of backbone, I think, at the moment. I think if they concede one, they do look susceptible to concede a few. Now, I know Middlesbrough, they won. It was a 6-1. But Middlesbrough aren't that great a team. I think if we went and got a goal or 2 on them, I think they could capitulate a little bit. But I can't think of many finals I've been to where Liverpool have just won and it's been easy. It's always been
even the Tottenham game in the Champions League final. I mean, that was the probably easiest I've ever seen us play. I mean, we dominated from start to finish. Didn't look like conceding.
Yeah,
but still, it was 1-0 for ages.
Yeah. You could have done the second goal being a little earlier.
Yeah.
But it's very rare we see Liverpool win. Even when we played against teams who were considerably better than. I went to Dortmund in 2001. We played Alaves. Who were they exactly? And it's 5-4, golden goal. It's like, what's going on? That should have been an easy 2-0 up as well, quite early on. But that's Liverpool in finals, unfortunately. So it's one of those ones.
Did we play Birmingham that year? And the Worthing took up.
That was 2. Yeah, exactly. Now it's penalties.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Worthing Cup won it back then, but Worthing Cup won it.
Yeah. So you have that, and then obviously we played Arsenal the same year. And they battled us, and we ended up coming back and winning 2-1. So no, I don't really. Like you said before, we do win on penalties. I just take a win now, whether it be the most boringest 0-0 game and someone score. Joe Gomez scores the last minute winner. Get it in there, lad. Or it's a penalty shootout. You just want to leave Wembley having won. It's a long drive back if it happens.
Yeah. I mean, Chelsea just roll over their own, aren't they? But
pretty much.
It's becoming our second home, that Wembley. Last few years, we've been there for a few times, but again, finals are finals. No matter who you play, we could be playing Bradford City. A final is a final. Anyone can win on a final. You have an off day, you have a good day. The game could be on its back, just like that. Chelsea have got some talented players. I don't know if you know. They've got some talented players, so they're not finding that gelling yet. They've got too many players. That's the question right now. But they've got some talented players. That Mediocre is it? He's a decent. Madueke, that's him. He's a decent player. Cole Palmer's unbelievable at the moment, by the way. Cole Palmer's probably one of the best in the league at the moment. Sterling's still a decent player. I think Nicholas Jackson's got something in him. I think it
He
needs
looked
clicking.
really good in pre-season, and he just started really poorly in this.
I think Nkunku's a good player if he gets into it now. Enzo Fernandez is a good player. We know Enzo Fernandez is a good player. We know Caicedo and Lavia is good players if they come into it. It's just about it's a matter of time before they click. I think Chelsea.
Yeah.
And it's about the right manager to get the click out. Whether it's Pochettino, that's up for debate at the moment. But someone will get a click out of them, and I think they will be better than Man United in terms of the long term right now. Let's hope this clip is not the final, though, Nif.
Yeah, I think I watched a bit of the game the other day against Middlesbrough, and understandably, they outplayed them by a bit, quite a bit. But Middlesbrough defender was actually like worse than Championship level. You know, it was like amateur, like Sunday League level at times, and he had a little bit of luck with some of the goals. But as you've just mentioned there, Cole Palmer, he's going to be the interesting one to watch out for because it's just crazy. To going off slightly a little bit, I don't get why Man City let him go.
I don't. I said that beginning when they did. I couldn't get it.
Like where he was playing for them last season has been the space that has been vacated by Mahrez. Yeah. I know he's played slightly different this season for Chelsea, but it just doesn't make sense. Like the way the ability and the confidence he's shown this season is like you went and spent 100 million on Jack Grealish a couple of years ago, and you've just got rid of one of your wingers in Mahrez. You've got no natural right winger really there because even Doku, he's more probably natural to play on the right. He's been playing on the left, and then you get rid of. I get it. Like I know why.
Do you think it was a positional argument? Do you think it was a positional argument? I'll say.
I don't know.
Did he want to play Cam like he's doing now at Chelsea?
I don't know.
He couldn't get there because like Phil Foden and Bernardo Silva.
I think one of the things is like Pep's always said, like if a player doesn't want to be there, he'll let them go. It could be a case of Pep couldn't guarantee him minutes, maybe in a position you're saying, in a more free-rolled position, or he's just, I don't know, or City have been looking at maybe these charges that are coming up and thinking we can't turn down, that money at the minute, or even just FFP in general. A lot of clubs even clubs that are not cheating are still a little bit, we need to be careful at the minute because we see what's happened with the likes of Everton, what's probably going to happen with Forest, and then, whatever happens going forward with Chelsea and City. But they obviously spent quite a bit of money over the last couple of years. They've done well to bring some back in. We all know they've sold quite a few players in the last couple of years, the likes of Sterling, Gabriel Jesus and players like that. But I think one of the things that City have, they are cheaters, don't care what anyone says. But one of the fantastic things they have done is, which again, they've cheated to do it, they've built the academy up all the way up. And that then enables you to, we've like we're saying, like a player like Cole Palmer to just be, go on, you can go 40, 50 million, as if it's nothing, do you know what I mean?
Well, Chelsea themselves did this, didn't they? They built the amount of academy players. They're one of the best academy teams around. They kept winning the Youth Cup every single season, and half of them were on loan in Holland or Belgium. And they had about 50 players on loan at one time. So
it's like City over the last 12 months or 24 months, they've sold the likes of Bazunu, Trafford. Is it Borges? Is that how you say his name? I think he went to Ajax.
And Sancho was at Man City.
Sancho was there, but I think he actually went on a free transfer because of his contract was up or something, or it was like a relatively low free. But Bino Gittins is another one as well, plays for Dortmund.
Yeah.
Can't think off the top. Lavia is another. There's another one. There's a lot of players there that they've got rid of over the last 2 years that. You're looking at players now that are like getting transferred to like 40, 50 million pounds, if not more, or players that you're thinking, do you know what? City could do with them now. Because some of the players that they've signed go like over the last maybe since last year. Kovacic is a good player. I don't get it though.
Yeah.
It doesn't make full sense to me. They bought Calvin Phillips in when they had Lavia there, who could have been an understudy to Rodri. Obviously the reason why is because they know that they could generate more money, do you know what I mean? But I just think I feel like City signings over the last couple of seasons, we all know how good they are. I just don't think they've done that great though. They could be great. They're not great, I don't think. I think they're good, do you know what I mean?
I think it's really Alvarez and Doku that's probably hit the ground running a little bit in the last 2 years.
I think Chelsea have benefited massively though from getting someone like Cole Palmer. How much was he, like 45 million or something?
Yeah, it was
40 million, which in today's market for a young, like we were saying before, like Harvey Elliott, maybe get 50, 60 million. I think if someone wants to buy Cole Palmer after the season, you're looking at 80+ million.
Easy.
You're getting a which
the English tax as well.
But in the position that Chelsea are in now with this financial fair play and something, it wouldn't surprise me if they were to do something crazy like that and City or United or Barcelona or Real Madrid or someone was to go, yeah, is 80 million for him. We'll take him. It's just crazy. Yeah.
Alan, before we do go, we've got Norwich on Sunday. Is that how much would you change the team for that game?
I probably would change it to a little degree. I think it's interesting, like what Pep Linders was saying. Obviously, I think it was either before or might have been the press conference before the game, where he was saying that they do tend to like having games every couple of days, so the rhythm stays there. So I don't think you'll see, like you'd imagine, maybe this would be in the early round of the Carabao Cup, where you probably would go one or two senior, the rest, But the squad's big enough now, so you can, potentially still have where you'd imagine the squad playing rather than the one you would say if there was a final tomorrow, that would be my first choice. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if we see maybe Virgil have a rest. And obviously, I don't know whether you might throw Joe Gomez back in the centre potentially and give Robbo a game or Owen Beck. I'm not too sure. Midfield wise, I wouldn't be surprised to see you see one or two. This guy's like Bobby Clark maybe play and give him a bit of a start. I think it'll be sort of half and half. I think if anyone with the sports scientists carrying any sort of like data that's saying you need a rest, this would be the one you rest them because after that it's Chelsea Arsenal, hopefully no replay, and then Burnley. But the Chelsea Arsenal game being 4 days apart, you won the top 11 to go Wednesday, Sunday, hopefully 6 points. So again, I think it'll be. I don't think it'll be a weak team, but I think you will see one or two of the sort of squadish players maybe getting a bit of a time. And
it'll also be a good game for some of the other players coming back to get 20, 30 minutes as well.
Exactly. But I think Robbo might get, again, I think he'll be sort of a.
He could even play like, Robbo and take him off at half time or something.
Exactly. You could say, he's coming off at this time. Yeah. So you can say to Owen Beck now, you're playing second half or first half, but Robbo's going to get these amounts of minutes because we need to get some rhythm into his legs.
He's also got an injury. Sorry to interrupt you. He's also got an injury where it's not like a hamstring injury or something. It's a shoulder or a collarbone or whatever it was. So
the
anticipation of him getting that injured again, playing 45 minutes is probably quite low. Maybe someone that's been out with a hammy injury and then running a little bit too much. You know what I mean? Or standing for the ball or something.
Exactly. So you don't. It's one of those ones. I think obviously no matter at one point someone's going to bounce into to Robbo when you think, oh, is his shoulder going to be okay? Well, they'll have done that sort of in training. No one would have whacked him, but they would have done a bit of physical contact to know, it's healed. But no, I think it'll be semi-strong, but not like the full strength. It'd be like, as Nathan says, players who maybe could just do with some minutes to get the, Szoboszlai get again, maybe get 45, half an hour, and just get some rhythm in the legs ready. So then come Wednesday, Sunday, Chelsea, Arsenal, you've got a big enough squad. Because I think the last couple of games, our bench has been a little, I won't say weaker, that's not the right word, but a little younger than what you would imagine.
Yeah.
So you'd like to think now maybe you would go to Chelsea Arsenal game and you would have a first 11 of top quality, but then if it's not working, you go to the bench. Oh, there's Jota, there's so and so, there's whoever ready to come on. So I think there'll be a couple of players who are on the comeback who might get a few minutes.
I think with the Chelsea and Arsenal game coming up, I think it's the perfect possible. I'm not disrespecting Norwich, but it's a decent game to have. I think in the FA Cup. It's better than the last round when we got Arsenal.
It's imagine to get City away.
Even against Arsenal, we were rotating quite a bit, weren't we?
We did a little bit. It wasn't like a full thing, but I think we can rotate a little bit with a more of a sigh of relief a little bit without disrespecting Norwich, decent side in Championship, but we should be going through no matter what team we put out. I think on Sunday, and hopefully rest key players. Even if it brings someone off or brings someone on at a certain point, resting them that way, then so be it. We've got Chelsea at midweek and then we've got Arsenal on the weekend, so we've got some big games. Hopefully we start with a win this weekend, then we go on to 6 points in the league against Chelsea and Arsenal. That would be a perfect week for us. Thank you everyone for joining in tonight. If you are new to the LFC Transfer Room, please make sure you subscribe. We're so close to 10,000 subscribers. Just click a like on that button at the bottom, please, and it would help us so much. We are wanting to become one of the best Liverpool football channels around, maybe even one of the best football channels around. Big ceiling, yeah, I know, but I think we want to get there, and I think we can get there with the right support and the right community behind us. Just to summarise tonight's stream, it has been a little bit on Takefusa Kubo, Real Sociedad's right winger, who Liverpool are one of the most interested clubs around the Japanese right winger at the moment. Still not looking to leave yet anytime soon, but possibly definitely one for the future and one for possible summer, maybe next season as well to look at. Injury updates on Dominik Szboszlai, who is back in team training. Trent Alexander-Arnold, who is not in team training just yet, still individual training, but Dominik Szboszlai is definitely close to making a return. Will it be this Sunday? Will it be midweek? We don't know yet. Again, Ramy Abbas Issa, who is Mohamed Salah's agent, has come out and criticised many people that has basically slandered Mohamed Salah for quite a bit over social media, and his certain return to Liverpool looking to rehabilitate his injury so he can be fit for Egypt in the semis or the final. We all agree that Ramy is completely right to criticise these people, because Mohamed Salah loves his country and he's doing the best that he can to get back for his country for the final if they were to make it. Salah's interest in Saudi is not gone away yet, but according to David Ornstein, that he has heard that he's happy to stay in Europe at the highest level. Whether that's Liverpool or another club, we don't know yet. That would be another one to keep an eye on as well. Thank you everyone for joining, and hope you have a great weekend. Hopefully it ends on a Liverpool win on Sunday evening. Thank you everyone, and enjoy your weekend.